Hey, this is Russ. Time for another health update. I think this is health update number 5. If you haven't seen the other health updates, feel free to look back on that. At the end of this video, there should be an option for a playlist. You can click on that and it'll show you all the different videos about the health updates. And as a reminder, health updates happen on Mondays, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are e-bike videos. So if you want to find out what's happening with me and my health, check in on Mondays, okay? So you might notice that I have my glasses on again. What does that tell you? Well, it tells you that the health is getting better because, as you know, the diabetes kind of messed up my vision. And so it was easier for me to not use the glasses and see distance. Actually, my far distance was improved. Yeah. My diabetic educator said that she's heard this from many of the people too, that their far distance actually improved. Yeah, same with me, but their close-up distance, pretty terrible. So anyway, I wasn't using my glasses, but now I'm able to use my glasses again. So that immediately tells you your numbers are better now, right? So anyway, I went to see my diabetic. Let me say something about my diabetic educator too, because I noticed she watched that one time when I told her after I saw her the last time. This lady is really good, and she's good at her job, okay? So I appreciate you if you're watching today and all the things you've told me about diabetes and keeping me safe and getting me back to the normal conditions, okay? So thank you to her. Anyway, she checked my blood glucose monitor. So this is a continuous glucose monitors. What do they call that? CGM, right? I showed you guys that on the last video. It's a little device that's attached to the side of my arm. Looks like a Apple AirTag. So I have to go in to see her twice on. I do it on Thursdays now. So I went in to see her because she has to take the data off of it, and it prints out a printout for us. And then we can analyze to see how we were doing with it. I'm going to give her some information too with this video. So if she watches this video today, I'm going to give her an update what's going on, because I didn't bring with me my log of the foods that I ate so that we can actually correlate where the spikes actually happened on the graph. Okay. Now I mentioned before too in the last video, and she may not have seen it. I think she watched the first one that I told her to go watch, so maybe she'll watch today's. I was wondering why there wasn't the ability for me to look on my phone app to check it myself. But in this case, the endocrinologist gave me a monitor where they have to check it, and then it'll graph it out. So it's okay. I mean, based on the look of the graph, it wouldn't have been a big deal for me anyway. But I would still like to do it, and hopefully I can get a monitoring system for myself so I can see, when I eat certain things, does it spike the level or not? She told me to check about 2 hours after you eat something and check the level at that point to see if it spiked it. So, so anyway, she checked the levels, and I have the results here on the printout. Let me tell you this, okay? This thing it's been checking it for the last 10 days, okay? So they're gonna check it a week and then a week later. But it's been 10 days since they put it on me. And it shows here that my average blood glucose is at 94 milligrams per deciliter. Now, the ideal conditions, according to this monitoring system, says I should be between 70 milligrams and about, what is this thing, 180? Is that what that is? Let me see here. Yeah, the target range is to be between 70 and 180. I am sitting at 94, which means I am in perfect target range, okay? Now, typically your A1Cs, this is the memory thing that I have a problem with. The A1Cs measures over a 3-month period. I was at 13.3%, and the ideal really should be, I don't know, around 5.6, 5.4. I don't know what the ideal is, but it's like in the mid 5-something% ranges. And if you're over 7%, then you're diabetic. Anything between the ideal and the and the 7%, you're considered pre-diabetic, from what I can tell. But this thing took an average of everything that it's been monitoring for the last 10 days, and then it just says, based on that reading that we got from you, this is what we think your A1C will come out to be. And they have me at 5.6%. So much better than the 13.3. That puts me back in normal ranges, okay? Glucose variability says I'm at 14%. And so target range, I am at 98% of where I should be. I mean, if you had 100%, that means everything that it measured was in normal ranges, right? It showed that I had a low blood glucose level of only 2%. So somewhere along the line, I had 29 minutes, 29 minutes worth of a little lower than they prefer. And then for 23 hours and 31 minutes, 98%. So overall, I am doing really good. Actually, really good. Now, the graph that they showed us here showed a couple of days that had a very small spike. So they kind of show you, I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of a, I don't know, I guess a printout of the day. And we saw two small spikes, okay? And so he says, yeah, when was that? Had I brought with me my my diary of what I ate at any given day, we would have been able to find out what that was. And so I went back to my log and I took a look at the days that that small little spike happened and said, what caused that? And that was, well, I told you guys I eat mostly salads and chicken and stuff like that. So when I'm eating the salads with the piece of chicken, everything's pretty much level. Nothing really changes. So what caused that small spike? I added in 2 pieces of whole wheat bread with tuna and mayo. Okay. Now I have to add some carbs because basically I'm eating everything with no carbs in it. So obviously it's going to look really good. But the minute you add a little bit of carbs, it's gonna spike it a little bit, right? So that's where it is. So if she's watching, I'm gonna tell her right now, those spikes came from the times I ate the tuna with the 2 pieces of bread. So she asked me, what is the carb content on the bread? So I took a look at it, and I think it was something like 34, maybe 36, something like that, grams. So the 2 together makes it a little bit high, okay? So, yeah, so we decided the best thing, if I'm going to do it, is to split it in half. Just eat 1 slice of bread with the tuna and the mayo, and then save the other half for another meal, right? So that's what I'm going to do going forward, and we'll see what happens at that point. So they're still monitoring me. I still have that thing on my arm, and so next week we'll know whether if everything looks level, then we pretty much can tell it's bread that's bringing it up. Now, I know a couple of you guys have told me, don't eat any bread. Actually, you can. You just have to be careful how much of the stuff you eat. And also the type of bread. If I was eating white bread or something, that'd be worse. But I'm doing whole wheat bread. And she said, that's fine. That's not a problem. Just keep track of the carb content of that bread. So 1 slice, I'll be fine. 2 slices, spikes it a little bit. That's we can pretty much tell that's where it came from, because I'm not eating anything other than the salads and the chicken, and all those days it's pretty much level, okay? So I am doing well on everything at this point. Now the blood stuff, not as well as it could be. Now the upper number is basically sitting between 140, 145 on average, and the lower number is sitting between, I'm gonna say, let's say 75 to 82, but I'm going to average it out at about 80. So I'm going to say it's about 140 over 80 on average. I mean, it fluctuates obviously. And, that's where I'm sitting. Now she says that the lower number is actually the thing they're really looking at. And she says 80 is not so bad, but the upper number I think could be better. I don't know how to bring that down, but I think more activity would help bring it down. Now, speaking of activity, if you've been watching any of the e-bike videos, you know that I recently hurt my left knee, which is where the replaced knee is. I know where it came from. It happened during the time I was exercising on the recumbent bike. Yeah, the exercise bike. I was doing it, and I could feel, my knee feels kind of funny. That's what did it. Now, we're guessing it's the IT band. It's not the actual mechanism of the knee. It's something in the ligament or whatever it is. I'm thinking it's the IT band. I could bend my knee, but I have to help it bend for a second, and then I can kind of feel it pop a little bit, and then it's fine. And it's not the pop of the mechanism of the knee. It's the ligament or something, whatever that is down there. Okay. So I'm hoping that in time it'll go away, because maybe it just needs a little rest, right? Not overdo it. And if it doesn't, then I'll have to go see my knee doctor again, find out what's going on with this knee. I don't think it's the knee. I think it's the stuff around it. I guess you could say that's part of your knee. But if I hold my leg and bend it, it's fine. So I've been using my cane for the last couple of days, just to be safe, because sometimes when I'm walking, I can kind of feel like, oh, my knee's about ready to give out. I don't want to go falling down. Okay, so I still have my cane on the days that when I was doing my knee replacement, so I've been using that to help me get around. All right. I tell you, my health issues has been really crazy this year, so I'm back to using the cane. I do use my cane daily, by the way. I use it to go up and down stairs, because you have a handrail, but I can use my cane in addition to the handrail. It's almost like feeling like I have two things to hold on to when I go up and down stairs. But I can do up and down stairs without it, but it's not as safe, and I don't move as quickly. So I do use the cane going up and down stairs when I'm at home. But any place else, I typically don't use my cane. All right, I don't take it out with me. But going to visit her, I took the cane because I figured, well, why take a chance? I don't want to go falling over for some stupid reason. So, but that's where we're at. Now, as far as the eye is concerned, it's back to where it was before all this happened. Now, it was messed up. Close distances, I could barely see with or without the glasses. That's come back now where I can actually see it with my glasses. And then the far distances back to using the glasses is the proper prescription of it. But, I told her that, my distance viewing seemed better. She goes, yeah, she says, I heard that from other people too. So yeah, it seems like your distance viewing is better without the glasses, if you're nearsighted, I guess. But because really, like I said last time, the and what was it? The ophthalmologist. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what people are called. She said that my distance viewing was so good I could probably pass a driver's test without my glasses. But now at this point, I need my glasses to see the distance again. So everything's gone back. So if you have diabetes, put down in the comments below. Let me know, when you had the diabetes, did your vision go bad? And if it did it do it exactly the way mine is doing it, where the distance seemed to be like great without the glasses, and then the close-up was messed up if you were nearsighted? And if you were farsighted and you had the diabetes and your vision was messed up, what happened at that point? I'm curious what happens for farsighted people who have the issue. Now, I know a number of you guys have had diabetes issues because you've mentioned this before. Let me know, all right? Let me know how that happened for you. The thing is that if we comment on these videos, others watch it, they learn from it, it'll help them too. So I appreciate your comments whenever you put a comment, all right? I also told her too, I said, sometimes people tell me, don't take the medications, don't do this, don't do that. Everybody has their own opinion of what to do. And she says, you got to follow your medical advice from the people who you're seeing, because they know what's going on with you, versus, what works for some people don't always work for everybody. That's the whole thing. So others have said that, medical professionals are always trying to get you to take medication, whereas you can do it on your own. I was so bad, if I didn't take the medication, it would be bad news for me. The only reason I'm back down to normal is because I am taking the medication. We could see it immediately. That's how it occurred. In fact, when they increased the dosage of metformin for me, I could see on the next day after the increase, numbers were even better. Okay, so things do happen. Now, if you're taking metformin forever, that's another story. You may want to think serious about whether you want to do that or not. My goal, as you know, is to get off of all of these medications. I don't want to take this stuff forever, okay? I don't know how long it takes before you can get off of it. Maybe she can tell me next time I see her. But I do have a 3-month supply of metformin and all the other medications they've given me. That's the high blood pressure medication called losartan, and I have another thing. It's also called Lipitor. Okay, I guess it's similar to or the same type of medication as Lipitor. That's the stuff for my my high cholesterol. But my high cholesterol issues, I think it's the LDL numbers, wasn't really that bad. It's higher, but it's not real bad. So they gave me the lowest dosage possible for that. It's 10 milligrams. But I am taking that. So I don't want to be on that stuff forever. I hope to get off of it. And I think with the weight losses that are going on right now, I will be able to get there. All right, I'm pretty confident I can get there. Now, we talked a little bit about how, different people, I mean, with my diabetic educator, how different people have, struggles sometimes to do what's happening to them. And she says, you seem pretty motivated. Yeah, I'm pretty motivated. Here's why. First off, I have at least 1,000 people watching my journey with this diabetic problems. I mean, I'm looking at how many people actually view the videos, and it's usually over 1,000. Okay. So I have like 1,000 people watching what I'm doing. So if you don't do well, you kind of look bad, right? So I hope to do well. Plus, I know from my past experiences of doing diets and everything that I have the willpower to do it. Somebody asked me, how are you able to do that? I said, it's just willpower. I mean, if I know I have to do it and I have the willpower to do it, I can do it. I've been eating the same stuff over and over, and it doesn't seem to bother me that much having to eat the same things over and over. It's basically salad with some chicken. There's a hard-boiled egg and at least 2 of the 3 meals that I take daily. So it doesn't seem to bother me so much, but it bothers some people. They have to have variety, otherwise they can't handle it. But yeah, I can do that. I mean, I would prefer to have variety, but if I'm stuck eating salads while I'm doing with this, then so be it. Going forward, you have to look at it too. I mean, can you eat salads for the rest of your life? Hey, probably not. I mean, you have to introduce other things, right? But in the meantime, I'm doing my best to try to keep within line. I know that salads will have to be something that is pretty much something I will do a lot of going forward for the rest of my life. Okay. I mean, you can't eat junk stuff all the time. Oh, one thing I did tell her too, and I know this is getting long, but I did tell her this. I said, since this whole diagnosis with the diabetes and everything, I've been watching a lot of videos and things about diabetes and how people eat and what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, about the medications, all that stuff. I've been immersing myself in all this education. And even just recently, I'm looking at how people eat and just watching people eating. And I would say a lot of people eat way too much stuff. They do. And they're not good stuff either. If you look at, what's considered good foods for you and the like, yeah, it's not good stuff. So, yeah, we all have to be a little careful. Give me an example, okay? Hopefully my family won't be upset I'm mentioning this. But, Chinese New Year happened last week, okay? So, of course, we had a whole family get together, and there's a lot of food, okay? A lot of food for Chinese New Year. I didn't eat much of that, all right? My sister-in-law made me a salad with a slab of salmon, cooked salmon for me, okay? So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I had some balsamic vinegar. I can't say things. With it. And I also had a piece of chicken while I was there, okay? So my diabetic educator says, good, you picked and chose stuff. Was there anything else there that you could have eaten? And I said, no. Knowing all the stuff that I probably shouldn't eat based on this thing, there wasn't a whole lot for me to consider even that I should eat. So I'm watching everybody else, and of course everybody's loading up with a lot of stuff, and there's a lot piled up on people's plates. I'm going, wow, I would have ate more than them had I not had this issue going down. I would have had a bigger plate than them, right? So whereas I thought they were eating a lot, I would have been worse. I would have ate a lot more than that, okay? So the fact that I'm cutting back as far as what I eat and how much I'm eating, yeah, we're going to lose weight. So how is the weight gain going or weight loss going? Well, I am now down to 246 today. Yeah, I had to think back what the numbers were. That puts me at what we were, 268. So I'm down 22 pounds right now. All right. Now, we were not moving at all for like the last 2 weeks. And I said that was probably because of the plateauing that typically happens whenever I go on a diet. All right. Because you'll lose 8 to 10 pounds and then it'll just literally sit there for like a week or two and nothing will happen. Well, now we're seeing the weight is coming down again, at least a little bit. So I'm assuming if that is what's really happening in the next couple of days, I should start seeing some more losses going on. So really, whenever I take a loss on these diets, you're only losing 2 to 3 pounds at most per week. You're not going to take a nosedive. It's usually like 2 pounds, 3 pounds. That is actually good. You don't want to really take a nosedive because you want to be able to slowly lose it, but permanently lose it is the key. Okay. Now, last thing, guaranteed last thing. Okay. I told you guys that they tried to give me Rybelsus, right? And Rybelsus is the pill form of that's similar to like Ozempic. Ozempic is that thing that people inject in their stomachs once a week. Rybelsus would be a daily pill instead, but the same basic thing. It would do that. I asked her I says, does the metformin have this dieting type effect that Ozempic can do and Rybelsus can do? And she says, not really. I mean, because there is a thing that I found out about called Ozempic face. Look it up. Type it in YouTube, Ozempic face, Ozempic. That's Ozempic face. What happens is when people take a huge loss in weight, okay, and that is not really because of Ozempic, but they call it Ozempic. If you take a huge loss of weight quickly, okay, the first thing that people will notice is your face will look like it's thinner. Now, people have mentioned to me that my face looks thinner, right? Yeah, well, I'm down 22 pounds, but it wasn't because of these drugs, really. Although some people said that you can lose some weight with metformin. Probably you do, but not maybe as dramatic as like Ozempic or Rybelsus. So what happens is a lot of times when people lose the weight, you see it a lot in the face first, okay? And the body might eventually be less and less, but you see it in the face first. So they dubbed it Ozempic face, all right? Because you take a huge weight drop because of that. Now, I personally, I know people would like to lose weight, but taking Ozempic for your diabetes, that's one thing because you're using it to control your diabetic problem, okay? But there are people now using these drugs simply as a dieting form. But think about this. You have to maintain that, and the only way to really maintain that loss is to keep taking it for the rest of your life. And I think that would be a problem because the minute you stop taking Ozempic, your weight will start going up because unless you maintain your eating the way you do, because of the Ozempic. Ozempic kind of makes you feel like you're full, but once that's gone, you're not feeling full, you'll start eating a little bit more. Next thing you know, you're gaining back some weight. So you have to kind of take it forever. And this is not cheap medication. Like I told you before, it's like $1,100 out of pocket if you didn't have insurance. Okay, I don't know what the copay would have been for me if I had taken Rybelsus, but that's a lot of money on a what is it? $1,100 for a month's supply. That's a lot of money per month. Okay, if you run out of money, you might not take it anymore. It could be an issue. So they call this thing Ozempic face because you'll see a huge loss in your face, even though maybe the body hasn't caught up yet. But the face seems to really have a huge loss of weight in the looks. So my loss is there. You could definitely see its loss. And I do one thing that's maybe a little different from other people. I've always kind of used my finger, my thumb and third finger, and I always kind of check my wrist to see how fat my wrist is. When I was 22 pounds heavier, I could feel it was harder to make this connection here when I'm holding my hand against this thing. I can do it easily now, which tells me the body is dropping. I also checked my old pants. I told you guys that I was going to see if I could fit into my old pants. Not yet. If I had pants that were one size down than what I'm wearing now, I would be able to fit that. Those old pants are 2 sizes down from this pair of pants I'm currently wearing. I put it on, not quite able to button up perfectly, but it's getting there. Now, before all this happened, I tried putting it on. I couldn't even come close to even buttoning that thing up. So I'm not quite 2 sizes down. 1 size down is like 2 inches lower than the current thing. 2 sizes down would be 4 inches lower than what I'm currently wearing. So when I'm able to hit and able to fit those pairs of pants, I'll let you know, okay? Because that would be a 4-inch loss in the size of my pants. Right now, I would say I'm 2 inches lower than what it is on these pair of pants. So there you go. So I am losing it throughout the body, and just kind of checking my wrist. It's a crude way of doing it, but I always know that when I've gained weight, I can't even do this and touch easily. It's kind of a tight touch. This is pretty easy right now, which tells me everything else is also dropping besides just the face, okay? All right, that's all I have for you guys. Plenty of stuff to give you. Keep watching on Mondays if you want to see what's happening with my health and if there's any updates going on. But this is a huge update for this time around, just to let you know that my numbers are down and they're within the normal ranges at this point. Just got to keep that going and not change any of the stuff, and then somehow be able to maintain that if I were eventually to stop taking all the medications. That's the key. So thanks for watching. Watch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for e-bike videos, Mondays for health updates and other things. Eventually when the health stuff is finished, or maybe if everything is exactly the same, nothing's changing, we'll start doing some other things on Monday. But right now, health updates. Talk to you guys next time. Subscribe. I keep forgetting to mention that. Yeah, make sure you subscribe and keep up with what's going on. Talk to you guys next time.